All right, Dante, what are we doing today?
Working, yeah, you working that art, brother. Do your magician.
That's all you gonna give me? You're not gonna give me nothing else?
Nope, the master got you.
That's crazy.
I'm in the master's hand.
That's so crazy. You know help at all, right?
No, you got it.
That's crazy. All right, bet, I got you. All right, so what we are gonna do is we're gonna cut the top down with a 1.5 like wave cut, high skin, bald fade, lineup enhancements. Are you cool if I knock down the beard a little bit? And then just line it up sharp. Yep. Just do what I gotta do. Just make it happen. Yep. All right, bet, cool. So first step is we're gonna cut his hair with the grain. Now this is my one guard on my JRL and the lever's all the way open. And we're just gonna go nice, even pressure to just cut all of this length down on top. And I'm paying attention to the direction that his hair is going, just so I can make sure I'm cutting it with the grain. And I'm putting my hand on his forehead just so I can kind of catch this hair, so it keeps the haircut a little bit more comfortable for him. And I'm doing the same thing on the sides, just cutting all this with the grain, being very careful of the cowlick area. Now we're about to go and fade into all of this. So something that I like to do is I actually I'll close up the one, and I'll just start to knock down the fade area, just so it can be a little bit easier for me to fade into. It's a little shorter now, it lays down a little bit nicer. And I also go and I put that same one closed right on the hairline. It's just little things that help me be a little bit more efficient. And now I can already start getting into my fade. I want to do a high fade. How I want to spread out the fade is about right here. So I'll start with my one open. I still have it on the clipper, and I'm just gonna go pretty much all the way up. Now, since we did cut the hair with a one open to like a one closed, 1.5 guard is gonna be able to blend out, this top line. So I'm gonna take that one open pretty high up, because like I said, we are gonna do a high ball fade on him. And you can see I'm leaving that top line kind of like a border, so I don't push up the fade too high. And now I'm gonna do my one close. I'm just gonna close this up. I'm just gonna go right under that one open. And I'm going really, really close, and that's very, very important for this fading system that I use. And this is the same fading system I use, cutting all day in the shop, doing 30-minute to 45-minute appointments. Now I'm gonna go and take this guard off, open my guard, and now I'm gonna leave some room between this guideline and my next guideline, because that's where my half guard is gonna go. And now when I have this set in, now you can kind of see how I'm spreading, that fade out. Now you can see I don't have that bottom skin line, so I'm gonna set in that bottom skin line, and at the same time, I'm actually gonna debulk all of this. So this is my 5-0 blade on a detachable clipper, and I'm gonna do both steps at the same time. I don't do the shaver on him because it'll bump him up, but I do go really, really close. But let's say if I was gonna do the shaver, this 5-0 blade, right, this 5-0, is close enough that I could follow this all up with the trimmer if I really wanted to. And it connects in really, really nice into, my clipper close. Now you can see I set in, my 3 guidelines. Now I can blend all these out while also blending in the side of the beard. Now I'm gonna do my clipper close, and I'm going about halfway up this guideline. And I am trying to keep in mind the direction that the hair is flowing. I'm trying to cut the hair, against the grain. So you can see the hair is kind of flowing this way. So I'm gonna go opposite of that. Closed halfway up that guideline, and I'll do one click, go up a little bit more, and then when I'm halfway, you can see it's already kind of majority blended out. And you can see how that just went and connected perfectly into what I debulked with that detachable clipper. And since I already have it in my hand, I'm gonna go ahead and start to blend out just the top of his beard a little bit. Now we have to knock out our next panel. So I'll go with my half guard, and I'll start about 75%. So it's like one click down from fully open, and I'm starting to blend out this panel. Now you can see that everything in front of the ear is a little bit lighter than back here. Back here it's a little bit more dense. So you just wanna keep that in mind whenever you're fading. I might have to do a couple more passes when it comes to this back panel than the front panel. Now I'm going with my brush, just because I wanna make sure to, brush away the debris right here. And I'm just trying to make sure that this whole panel has the same gradients. Now, since the hair is a little bit longer, I'm gonna go back to a comb. I'm gonna start, this is a blending guard, this is my 1.5 guard. So I'm gonna start 75% open. So that's, like I said, one click down from fully open, and I'll just slowly blend this out. Now I'm all the way closed. If I need to, I can always pull out my one guard again and blend all this in. And then I'll go ahead with my one open and just connect this in one more time. And from here, the whole system is done. Now, if I wasn't, cutting for a YouTube video right now, I would be doing all these steps all around the side of the head. And guys, this system, whenever you're not, sitting there and explaining it, and you're just kind of going step after step, guys, you'd be surprised how fast you can get a really good quality fade done. Now, this is just a rough draft. You're always gonna go, and after the lineup, lineup, you're always gonna go in detail. So I'm gonna use my hand right here to block that hair from falling onto his head. Just trying to keep the surface a little bit more comfortable. This is my one open with the grain. Being aware of up here, also where the hair is kind of growing and what direction that it's growing. It's very common that, you know, one side of the head is gonna have a different growth pattern than the other. So that's just something that you wanna be aware of. I feel like it helps you be a lot more efficient because the hair falls off a lot easier. It makes you a lot more efficient, and I feel like the end product comes out a lot nicer. Take that hair off so there's not that much hair on them. We use this one guard and just knock down this whole area that I'm gonna fade. I'm gonna do my one open, and I'm just gonna leave that same border line right here at the top because I'm doing a high fade. So I'm just kind of picturing where I wanna put my guy lines before I actually start. So it's just a 3-finger technique right here, just so I can have a good basis of where to start. Now, right under this top border, go ahead and do that one closed. And we're just doing literally the same thing. Go ahead and do that half, which is just the clipper open with no guard. Right there, boom. I gotta set in that bottom guideline, and I want everything to be parallel, but I'm actually gonna debulk and set in that guideline. So, you know, this is an example of something that can allow you to be more efficient because you're doing 2 steps in one. I'm setting in this bottom guideline, at the same time, I'm debulking with something that is close enough that I could go right with my shaver if I wanted to. But, you know, this is similar of what you could do with a trimmer. I just feel like the 5-all, I really like how it cuts. But, you know, if I didn't have this, then I would just use, you know, a trimmer that's set really nicely. Now, just to break down this bottom guideline, I'm going with my clipper closed about halfway up. I'm gonna fade in this beard too real quick, because like I said, I'm already here. Going halfway up, literally halfway up of that guideline. Halfway up, this is all clipper still closed. I'm just gonna go and just quarter that up. So just pick it up 1 notch. That's why like the clippers with the notches are really helpful. Notch again, so now I'm, you know, halfway open, and you can see that, you know, this bottom panel just got blended out really nicely. So you just wanna make sure that, you know, your clippers are set properly. Because if they're not set close enough, you know, it won't work as smoothly, and you have to do a lot more cleanup work. But it's just kind of finding that balance, because, you know, you don't want your stuff to be too sharp either. I'm also using kind of a bigger brush so that I'm not just gonna brush here, but it's also a lot easier for me to brush the hair off his forehead or off his nose, off of, you know, his face down here, just to try to keep it comfortable for him. But now this is my half guard. I'm gonna go 75% open. I'm just gonna start to blend out this panel. Now I'm halfway open. And this is just where I do a little bit of lever play, but majority of this line is gonna come out with the clipper halfway. Now we just gotta start working on this top panel. Now I'm going back with my comb because the hair's a little bit longer right here, 75% open. And I'm using the fine tooth side of my comb. And we're just blending all this out. Now I'm all the way closed. And with these blending guards, you're kind of starting a little bit more open than you are closed, just because you want to see how the hair reacts. Remember, you can always cut off more, but, you know, if I start too low and then I go up with it, I might actually push up the fade higher than what I want it to be. That's why you can always see how the hair reacts, because with the blending guards, you know, it's gonna differ person to person. So you can see right now I'm with the 1.5 guard closed, open, and this is just where I'm having a little bit of lever play and just look into the hair. Because I really do feel like, you know, it might sound crazy, but I do feel like the hair kind of talks to you. Finishing up, kind of polishing the fade, I'll go back with my 1 guard and just connect all this in. I'll start open, go halfway, and close it up. And this is the rough draft. After the 1 guard, my rough draft is done. I won't really do much more because I want to be disciplined with my steps. And now I can just come to this back section and I'll just connect these 2 sides of the fade together. So you're literally just going ahead and doing the same steps. You know, this is just to show you guys the fading method. But truthfully, if you're a more beginner, I would set your skin line all the way across the head, because when you come back here, it could be a little bit, you know, challenging for somebody to come back and, you know, kind of connect the fade in this way. But I'll show you guys kind of, this is what it looks like in more, I guess, real time. This is like the speed that I would move with, you know, in the shop. Because as long as you're not using too much pressure and your tools aren't crazy sharp, you know, you can move at a little bit of a faster pace, and, you know, it's not going to bother, you know, your client. It's also important to have, you know, your station set up in a way where it's really easy for you to find the guards that you need, or your combs, or your brushes, so that you can go through your system a lot faster. Like, you know, those details matter a lot. If it takes me, you know, 30 seconds to find the guard that I need every single time, you know, that stuff really does add up. And going against the grain, you see the hair is growing in this direction, so I'm just going right against the grain just to cut it, you know, more even. And whenever you do break up the fade into these 3 sections, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the points that the fade is having to connect, so that, you know, it blends in and transitions in well. But that's also a part of what you are doing whenever you're detailing. So this is now tying in with that last step. And this is all still just rough drafts. The details really come into play whenever the lineup is done and the whole thing's done. So now I'll go and I'll just finish in kind of fading in this beard on both sides, and then we'll get into the lineup as well. Now we can go up into the lineup. So you want to make sure that the lineup is cut down enough so that it still blends into the length that you cut in the top with. So I'll take a neck strip like this, I'll spray some alcohol on the neck strip, and then I'll come and just do this all over the hairline. Just make sure the hairline is clean and dry for the hairline, but also for the enhancements, so the enhancements can last longer on his skin. His skin was pretty clean regardless, but sometimes you do this and your clients do have some oils on their skin, and the oils on their skin they're not good for the enhancements because it doesn't allow the enhancements to really like kind of stay in the skin as well. First, I just like to do my vertical bars. So the first part that I do of doing my hairlines is actually doing my vertical bars first, and I start to line them up, looking at like the kind of the lightest point of his hairline and where I feel like it could carry over really nice. This side of his lineup is naturally a little bit higher than the right. So I'll start on this left side. I feel like I have, one side of the hairline done nicely. Then I know that I can actually go and do the other side of the hairline. Don't be scared to like move your client's head or tilt their head a little bit. Remember, you're trying to, give them the best haircut possible, so, their cooperation is well appreciated. I've sat in classes sometimes where people actually say that, oh, I don't know what to do if my client doesn't want to turn their head or something. You're just gonna gently kind of like put them in the direction that you need. And if you need to, you can literally ask them, yo, do me a favor, can you tilt your head real quick? Remember, you're trying to give them, a great haircut, so whatever you gotta do to get there, man, don't be afraid to go ahead and do it. As long as you're not hurting them, right? Before I do the enhancements, I'll actually stand behind them in the mirror, I'll tilt their head down and just make sure that the hairline is nice and symmetrical before I go and do the enhancement. Because the mirror is like a new, fresh set of eyes. So I think the only thing that I see is that left corner needs to come up a little bit. So I'll just go and I'll hit that left corner.
All right, guys, we got the Tune 45 wireless charger mat. What makes this so unique, this is actually what kind of revolutionized the whole barber game, because it was like the first ever barber mat that gave you the capabilities of charging your clipper wirelessly. All it needs is a wireless adapter that fits the clipper that it coincides with. You place it on the mat and it charges wirelessly. No more messy wires around your station, on or around it. You have 4 independent charging slots, as well as an additional one that you can use for your either wireless air press compressor, or you can use it for your cell phone to charge while you're cutting. All right, just give you that peace of mind that your tools will be charged as well as your cell phone. Get yours today at tune45.com.
And I sprayed a little bit of the 245 airbrush cleaner just to make sure that the gun is flowing good, flowing nice, shooting strong. Now I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna take some of the black brown of the 245 no drip color, and we good to go. You go ahead and you grab that color card. Now here's the trick. So you don't just spray on the line, you spray kind of back into the fade. So you place your card right here, but you're also going to try to a little bit down to right here, boom. And I'm spraying it on the line, but I'm also letting some of the color fall behind itself on the fade so that it can all blend in. And that's how you help yourself get more of a natural look. At the top of the fade, I'll spray a little bit more color than I will at the bottom. Remember, we want it to blend it to the fade. I'm just filling in the spots that I need that color. A little bit goes a long way, guys. Nice enhancements. Man, the joint looks nice. I'm gonna shoot it on the line, but I'm also gonna shoot it back into the fade. That's why like angles are super important whenever you're using enhancements. Go ahead and fill in these corners, get these corners a little darker. Now this is the 245 and clutch card color enhancement card. I just use it a lot, so I need to clean mine a little bit. Now he doesn't have any C cups, so I don't have to use this part of the card. And there you have an enhanced lineup. Now, next step, a little bit of hairspray. Take some hairspray and I'll set like a foundation of hairspray on the lineup, and then I'll use some of these. These are the 245 hair building fibers. I'll use mocha, which is like the black brown, just to go layer right on top of this. First thing, spray a little bit of hairspray. Now, when I put the hairspray, I actually want the hairspray to apply like shiny. That way I know that the fibers are gonna stick onto it. Now, instead of using it out of the canister, I bought one of these just to go inside. But these are the 245 fibers right here. I'm just spraying it right on the hairline. And this just adds a little bit more depth and texture. And I'll go ahead and do the same thing over here. And then when you line it up, that's when you go ahead and you seal it in. Now I'm following my same system. Well, I'm gonna line these up. Now I'm gonna go and I'm hitting my top line again. So I'm gonna start with my left side. Just try to keep the beard very comfortable for your client. I went and I kind of pre-shaved all this down with my trimmer. And then I'll also use my shaver to shave all that stuff down, hit it with the razor, within whatever kind of beard kind of style that they want. Right here, I'm just gonna use my 245 razor. You can see I got some experience with this one. 245 shave gel, and then you can just take the back of your comb and just smooth it out. I'm stretching the skin opposite from where I'm shaving, comb away some of this debris.
New York style bitch.
So the last part of this that is super, super important, that you actually lock in the fibers with the last coat of the hairspray. So remember, we did one coat of hairspray, we did fibers, and then we're gonna do another coat of hairspray. This is called the sandwich technique, and I learned that from S-Craft Blends, actually. So now we're gonna take out this hairspray, and we're gonna do another coating of hairspray around to the hairline. I'll just put my hand right here and just dust all that in. You like it?
Yeah,
Sharp?
come on, man.
What you think?
Come on.
Well, what do you think?
The greatest barber in the 7 seas.
To the 7 C's?
Yeah.
Wow. That's joint sharp. You know,
Y'all see it. Y'all see it too.
Nice.
God damn. Yeah, you think you're fine.
Sharp?
Yeah.
You know what it is.